set at a decent time. But I really can't think of another topic to talk about. I'm sure I'll think of something on this drive. I've still got two hours left. So, we'll see. I mean, I could give my personal opinions on all of this stuff, but I feel like, I don't know, I don't feel like I have a large enough platform to do that safely. If, tact is important. And that's not to say I have to tread lightly forever, but I can't just... There's a lot of censorship going on, and there's a lot of abuse of cancel culture going on. And so I am worried that if I speak out, if I say too much while being too small, that I am risking being stomped on in some way, shape, or form. I need to grow. I need to grow enough to be able to protect my digital identity. That's really what I'm thinking here. I recognize speaking out, and I think that we should. I'm not trying to be a coward. It's more that it is very important that if you want to make a difference, if you want to be some sort of activist or speak for some sort of things, whatever that is. Why is my phone dying? It's important to speak up, but it's also important to have a voice. If in an extreme example, if you were speaking out against a tyrannical king and the very first thing you did is walked out in a public square and said, "We have to revolt," you will be beheaded. Even if people listen, and you might be remembered for causing people to listen, you will be beheaded and your personal protest will be over. If you instead, however, start with whispers and secret meetings and get a crowd going and go through the proper channels and meet in secret and work, then eventually you will have enough people that someone may still be beheaded, but you've already spread the word far, and you already have a community, and then eventually people will realize, or the tyrant will realize, that you have people listening to you. You have followers, and if you're beheaded, those followers will revolt. That gives you a safety net. That's really, really watered down to how it all really is. But, I'm not saying that I'm the person that's going to start a revolution. I'm just giving an example. And that's what it comes down to when I think about, do I really want to talk about these topics yet? Is because I don't want to waste my voice and, go quietly into the night having made no change. And were I to just make a YouTube channel and immediately start screaming about how we need to overthrow the government, not saying we do, saying were I to do that, dude, my YouTube channel would freaking die really quickly. It just would. I mean, there's a small 1% chance that suddenly I get a huge following, but the problem is that I might appeal to only radicals, and I might appeal to radicals that I don't agree with, and then, oh no, I have gone the wrong way and caused a huge issue, and now everyone's against all of the people that are following me. You know, I want to be a good and healthy and proper voice, and I want to make a difference. The crowd is important. Every individual person is important and does their own thing, and I recognize that. I want to be more. I do not know that I ever will be a lot more, but the people that I am inspired by as a writer are people such as Thomas Paine, and in some regards, Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson? Yeah, in some regards, Thomas Jefferson. In some regards, Alexander Hamilton. You know, I admire these people, not for all of their qualities, but for certain ones. And I recognize that I, just as everyone else, just as all of you, have value. Every single person has value. Those who choose to use that value to risk themselves, and who might, whose voices might be silenced quickly, that is your choice and that is your right. And you speak out in whatever way that you want to speak out. If you truly believe in something, then you should be, at least in a country where we have the right to assembly and the right to free speech, you should be able to speak out however you want. You know the risks going into it. But just as we need those people, we also need people whose voices are not silenced immediately. Everyone matters. I'm not saying that I am more important than you, but having gone to therapy, I recognize that I am important and I am allowed to love myself. I have value, and I personally believe that I can do far more. I can do far more for the world. Writing books, being a long-term voice, speaking my mind, and keeping myself around. And that doesn't mean tiptoeing, that doesn't mean I'm living in fear of, I'm living cautiously, but not in fear. It's really weird. I have a really strange relationship with the accusations of cowardice, and I have that relationship because I come from a family history of... That's one that I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about. I might have to cut that. I think I can do a lot more for the world if I keep myself around, and if I make sure that I am heard, and if I try to remain civil, but I don't really know what word I'm looking for. I feel like I can do a lot more for the world as a writer, and I feel like I can do a lot for the world as a YouTuber, but then I can as how do I put it? I can do a lot for the world, a lot more for the world in discussion and in speaking civilly than I can in protest, in active protest. I want to do that. I choose to do that. so that we have more voices that are heard for longer. It's a really difficult... I would have to sit down and try to write this out and figure out my words. This goes back to my last video about being neurodivergent and having difficulty with communication. There are words that I'm looking for that I cannot find. But I think I'm best suited for being a writer and a philosopher, not an activist. You know what I mean? I think you kind of know what I mean. I'm gonna have to reword this differently. I'm gonna have to work it out. This is actually one of the more difficult things I've had to put into words in a way that I like. I've put it into words casually before, but now I'm thinking about how many people are going to see this and how I'm going to communicate it without any misunderstanding. My point is, I am not afraid to speak out. I just believe that tactfully now is not my time to say these things. That right now I could better serve my channel and better serve the community by being cautious and being aware of what I'm putting out and what I'm saying. I am small, and I know that I am small. And I want to make a difference, and I want my voice to reach people, and it is not ready to reach people. And it is not my time to say all of the things that I believe and want to say. And I hope that when you see this video, it's going to be heavily edited because there's a lot of silent pause. I'm not hiding anything. There's just a lot of pause because I was not prepared to make this speech. This is just a tangent. It is not my time to say these things. That does not mean that I'm afraid to say them, or that I'm hiding them, or that I don't think they should be said. I just think that I can better serve the community by not saying them yet. By not being super, super vocal and super active, and basically, I wouldn't necessarily say shooting myself in the foot, but throw a target on my back when I am small. A very, very small channel. So, that's one of the reasons I'm beating around the bush. Or not really beating around the bush. That's one of the reasons why I'm being careful about the way I say things and how much I say them. I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying, or a lot of what the people are saying, but the people are already saying it, you know, and I'm trying to create a YouTube channel and, you know, be a voice in a different capacity. You know, we have those voices. I'm not being silent, you know, I'm being mindful of how not to be silenced. That's a good way to put it. I am not being silent, I am being mindful in not being silenced, so that as we move on, we don't lose a ton of voices. We have a lot of people speaking, and I'm grateful for that. It's not time for me to say certain things. I'm a YouTube channel. I'm very aware of where I am and how much I can do. So, it's really how I feel right now. That's the gist of it, really. I value all of you. I value this society. I do. I value the place in which I live, and I love all of you. We will be in better times soon. I did not see her. She was in my blind spot. I thought she was going to the other car, not crossing the street. Anyway, we will be... Things will get better. I value everyone. A lot. And I hope that you understand that I'm not trying to be silent or trying to enable people by being silent. I'm thinking about the best mileage that I can give my voice for all of you. With that said, I'm at a place where I'm stopping, so I'm gonna see if I make this video in editing. It was kind of a mess, me trying to figure all that out. Until the next time, guys, stay safe out there, be safe in everything that you do, and remember, I love you.